You wanna ride with the big dog? Don't stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Put 150 on it.
What up, bike fam? We just gonna get into it today. What's going on is my bike is no longer starting. Riding just fine one day. I'm riding all day. Next day, it does absolutely nothing. And I'm like, okay, now if I let the bike sit, it ain't starting up. And that was a new thing. And I equated that to I have a lot of electronics on this bike. I have 2 charging ports. I run multiple cameras, the neon light kit, the plate kit. So I'm like, maybe it's like trickle discharging because it's always on in respect to, it's an on and off switch, but it's always, I just look at it as just always robbing power. So if I'm not riding for maybe 3 or 4 days or maybe a week, then it's honest why it's not starting, right? But when I was riding one day and then the next day it does nothing, it was a big question mark like, hey, something ain't right. So I just took the bike off the battery tender. So it's at 100%. I've been keeping this bike outside more than I typically do. But I do keep a tarp over it in that respect to keep it out the elements, not heat so much, but more so rain and hopefully moisture, whatnot, debris. Yeah, but typically I keep it indoors. All right. So with that being said, so everything does engage like it's supposed to. The fuel pump engages, the starter relay when I try to start it. Only thing that it doesn't do, it doesn't crank. Cars is my thing, not motorcycles in that respect, even though I do my own work outside of like fork seals. I heard that's an easy job, but when my fork seals did bust, I did take it to a bike mechanic to get that done. So I haven't tried that, but like Forrest, changing my wheels out so I can get new tires, of course the accessory stuff, and putting in the neon lights and all that, I did that myself. I'm gonna start it, be quiet, and then you can hear everything engage. All right, so anybody that has a bike, that's the sound you want to hear. And then now here's this weird noise. I don't know where that's coming from. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to start the bike. I don't know what that is, that sound. But that first sound was the starter relay engaging, and of course, when it tries to start, it pulls that voltage and everything goes out like the headlights for that little split second to put all that power into that starter for it to go. There may not be the actual technical, that's how things happen, but it kind of seemed like that how it happened. It draws the power out to put it where it needs to be for it to start the bike. Electric starter. So I took everything apart for the seats to take that off because I wanted to get to the battery so I can test a few things. Doing some research online, so I'm gonna test the voltage on the battery itself, and I'm gonna try to trick it and do a jump start with the starter relay with everything on. If I guess the relay is not bad or whatnot. I'm not sure of the mechanics behind me just jumping it that kind of way. Just more so of an emergency thing if you're stuck on a road and you don't have the luxury of having a hill that you can actually coast down and put it in first gear and pop that clutch and go. You on a flat surface, then you can always, granted you have your toolkit in the trunk of your vehicle and some rubber gloves. It may not be enough voltage to shock you, but better to have than not need it and don't have it. But I always keep you some rubber gloves as a insulator for you and that electricity, you know what I mean? So yeah. All right, so I got a screwdriver. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the bike on. Everything engaged, kill switch. Sometimes they say that the kill switch can get stuck, but I think that's more so for vehicles that just stay outside in the elements. You don't even put a tarp on it, so you get all type of rain, debris, tree sap, just anything, maybe insects. But I did open up the kill switch compartment just to check. Maybe it's something got stuck in there, but when I open it up, it's clean. But I did spray some WD-40 in there, so everything is good to go. The bike is the bike is a 2018, so it's not new, but fairly new. But it's probably time for a few changes. More so this battery. This battery is the original in this vehicle, so it's probably about time for it to go. When I was doing my research, they say batteries typically last maybe like 3 to 4 years. And I guess it depends on the brand in that respect. So it's probably time for a new one to get installed in this one. So I'm open to that. But anyway, I know I'm long-winded sometimes. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this cap off. You have the starter relay. So I'm going to try to pop it in the case that I'm in a worst case scenario, that I'm on an island by myself and I need to get out and I don't have the luxury of a hill to roll down and put it in first and then pop that clutch and get out of there. So this is a simple thing. So of course, cut the key on, make sure your kill switch is on. Not sure what this nasty sound is, but we're going to disregard that for right now. So what you want to do is put your screwdriver on one end and then the metal on the other end. It's trying to engage, but it's not enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. So you hear the starter trying to actually go. So that's a good thing in my book. For the people that's actually bike mechanics, tell me if something wrong, but that sounds good to me. That starter actually want to crank over. It's just not, to me, it's telling me it's not enough power. So the starter relay is working just fine. It's engaging like it should. Correct me if I'm wrong, but everything in that respect to the starter relay and the actual starter in my book is good. So that eliminates those two things. That starter relay, I think that may run you probably about 200 if I'm not mistaken, but I know the starter relay was $39.99 when I looked at RevZilla, which I'm like, hey, if that's all they need, cool. But that's not the case. So I kind of narrowed it down to the battery, but this is how I narrowed it down to the battery. All right, anybody can do this. Get you a multimeter. This is just a random multimeter I got off Amazon. The company is Ideal. I'm not sponsored by Ideal. I'm not sponsored by anyone. So anything I buy myself, and I test it out and try it out. Good stuff. So what you want to do is go ahead and turn the multimeter on volts. Change it to DC, and I want to put the range. I like to have the decimal move 2 places. It was on 3 places. Not that it's going to tell you different, but I just want to know the approximate. So go ahead and hit the clamp on the positive side and of course the negative side. Positive always first. Never, well, I don't want to say never. Negative first and ground. Just don't want to ground the battery out and then run a case of anything. But you know, correct me if I'm wrong. So you see it right now is at 1046, 10.46 resting. It should be at 12 volts resting. Again, I charged this battery completely. I charged it overnight, so there's no reason for it to do this. Now it could have been as I tried to crank this up and maybe it took a few decibels off, but decimals off, but I don't think that's the case. I think the battery just did. Again, this battery's been in this vehicle since 2018, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to put a load on it, and it dropped down. Drop down to 9. Go back to 10. But it should be at 12 volts, man. And again, I can't start the vehicle because it just won't start. So I definitely would love to see how that is. But unfortunately, I cannot. So it is what it is. So I ordered me a battery from Cycle Gear. It definitely will get here in time in that respect. But I was going to do, this is just the part 1. Part 2 is when I'll do the actual battery install. And then we'll crank it up. And then if all this is good, then we good to go. We don't need to do a starter relay. We don't need to do a starter in that respect. Because I don't know anything. Like I said, I know enough about the bikes just to keep them maintained. But to tell you like I'm a motorcycle mechanic and know everything about motorcycles. No, I know a lot of things about the motorcycle that I own. But anyway, this is part 1. We're going to come back to part 2 whenever that battery gets in. I don't know when it's going to get in. Maybe it's going to be 3 to 5 business days, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we're gonna get to it. Peace. Finally got the battery in. Here you go. Anti-gravity battery. A whole lot smaller than what I had, man. A whole lot smaller. I'm talking about the scale is crazy. So what we're gonna do, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and just test it out. Just like I tested the other one. And if you remember, the last battery did not hold 12 volts. It was at 10 point something. Whatnot. So get that trusty old multimeter. Put the range 2 decimal places. Let me put that to DC. So hopefully you can see. I'll try to set it up. Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know how I was doing that. Anyway. Boom. 13.19 volts. Strong battery, strong battery. And we're gonna do the old battery, the one that got to come out. Let's do that. Look at that. 10 point. Oh, dropping an eye. What the hell? What the helly? What the heliante? Yeah, so they need to come out, man. So hopefully it just needed a new battery and the bike start up. It's been a while, so let me get my Phillips screwdriver. So this is the battery, man. Crazy. Let's see how many CCA cold cranking amps. Same thing. So 175 cold cranking amps. This one is at, oh, let me lift this off. So this one is 360 cold cranking amps, which means it can be severely cold and it's gonna crank versus the other one. In that respect. But yeah, this side, look at the size, man. And that weight is extremely like night and day. But it state like how many ounces, I guess, off of it. It's like made for racing, so you know, the lighter the bike, the faster it go. That wasn't my intentions, but it is what it is. When I went online, that's what they gave me for your bike. All right, cool. I don't care about having no lighter bike, but they gave me these. Well, these are part of the cushions that's in the box. I guess it can double as keep the stable. Has some little sticky things on there. I ain't gonna mess with that. Which I should have did was test it before. go. We cooking with grease. We cooking with grease. Yeah, buddy. So we back, man. We back. We back. The bike back working. Got you cranked up. That's what it was. It was a bad battery that whole time. I'm happy. I'm stoked. All right. So let's put this. All right, man. So we good. We're going to start it one more time. That's it. Thank you all for coming out. Don't forget to subscribe.
You wanna ride with the big dog? Don't stop. Keep going, keep going, keep going.